Hello and welcome back to the channel. With 9 months of the year gone, I thought I'd take some time in October to look at how my income streams have been doing and compare them to the same period of January to September in 2022. I'm going to start by going through what the total amount was for all the income streams for the same period in 2022 compared to 2023, then have a short breakdown of each income stream and how they've changed over the last year or so, and finally talk about some lessons and takeaways. There will be timestamps in the description below, so feel free to jump around to what interests you the most. So let's start off with how much these income streams brought me for the last 9 months, or rather the first 9 months of the year. From January to September of 2022, my income streams brought in a total of $21,704. From January to September of 2023, this number rose to $30,968. That's an increase of $9,264, or about 43%. So let's break this down. At a super high level, these are all the different income streams I have, their number in 2022, in 2023, as well as their dollar difference between the 2 years, as well as the percentage difference. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's walk through each income stream individually. Starting off with the most basic of income streams that everyone should have, interest from a high yield savings account. For the first 9 months of 2022, this number was $265, and in 2023, it's grown to $1,198. So that's a difference of about $933, or over 350%. Obviously, on my part, I did very little to achieve this growth. In fact, the amount in this particular account has stayed largely the same over the last year. So this has really been just the effect of rising interest rates that have been going up throughout 2022 and 2023. As a result, the proportion of this interest contributing to my overall income streams has gone from 1% to 4%. Next up, there's income from Google AdWords on my blog, Amazon affiliates, and a few paid subscribers on Substack. They are small numbers overall, $31 in 2022 and $115 in 2023, but hey, every dollar counts. I've combined these income streams together because they don't even make up 1% of the overall proportion of my income streams. But that's it, I'm very happy with these streams because they are a result of people saying that they see value in what I do and choosing to support me directly. Moving on to a largely unchanged amount from bonds. The small difference of negative $22 was caused by an older bond reaching its maturity. It got redeemed and I wrote that money off into investing in different stocks instead. Bonds have always been a very small proportion of my portfolio, both in terms of their absolute dollar amounts as well as their percentage contributions to my income streams. I don't see that changing in the future. Resold items was a bit of a weird one in 2023. I got rid of a lot of stuff this year and received a lot more money than usual. So much so that the dollar amount difference and the percentage difference are just blown out of proportion and don't even really make sense. Of course, more money is good, but the downside of this large amount is that this income stream is almost certainly going to either disappear entirely or really shrink in 2024, which means I'm going to have to make the difference up elsewhere. Next up, we have crypto, which is a negligible percentage of my overall portfolio. This year, in 2023, I made the decision to stop tracking my crypto. I'm still holding on to whatever I have, but I'm just leaving it alone, not adding to it, not selling it off. It's just there. Moving on to options, 2023 has been a slow year for options for sure. There was very low volatility in the first 5 or 6 months of the year, and then in August and September, it increased just a little bit, which was great for the portfolio. Even then, there's still more than a $3,500 shortfall compared to the same period last year. But thankfully, this has been made up elsewhere in the form of dividends. The dollar amount is up nearly 60% from the same period last year. Most of it is just due to stocks that I bought midway in 2022. And so this year in 2023 is the first year that I'm receiving the full amount of dividends every quarter from these stocks for the first time and for the full year. I also shared all my dividends for the first 6 months of the year in my last video. I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to check that out. Finally, my last income stream is a new one for 2023, and that's my digital product. It's only been 5 months in 2023, but it's nearly generated nearly $3,000 in income, which contributes nearly 10% of my overall income streams so far. After all that, let's take a look at the percentage allocation from each income stream and how that contributes to the overall amount. I'm just going to focus on the larger proportions. As you can see in 2022, options and dividends made up 95% of the total income streams alone. The good news is that this has been a little more diversified with the addition of my digital product. So now in 2023, there's 3 income streams contributing 73% across the 3 of them instead of being too concentrated in just 2 income streams. Of course, my preference would be for the amounts for both the dividends and the digital product to increase to a point where they're roughly the same as options, give or take, but it's going to take some time. All right, after all of that, let's talk takeaways. The first takeaway is clearly that multiple income streams are essential for achieving any sort of financial independence and success. Income streams can come and go, but they may not provide predictable levels of income. So for example, in my case, options clearly aren't performing at the same level as they were in 2023. We can see that in the red numbers on the screen. But that's been more than made up by the increase in dividends as well as the dollar amount from my digital product. Now, if I didn't have so many income streams, if I had just maybe 2 or 3 fewer, then I may not have been able to make up for that shortfall with dividends and digital product. Second takeaway, I'm still too reliant on options. It's great that the percentage of income from options has dropped nearly in half, but the other income streams are taking some time to grow and catch up. This is one of those things where there's only so much you can do to speed things up, right? Because dividends take some time to grow, and it also requires some investment of capital, which doesn't appear from nowhere. However, that said, I'm fairly certain this will be sorted out in the long run. Finally, I realized that I should really track this number quarterly. For example, if I knew that my options numbers were so far off from where they were in 2022, I might have paid more attention to them in Q2, Q3 of this year to try and rectify or improve the situation. So this is definitely something for me to keep in mind for next year. I might want to do a year-end roundup of 2023's income streams for the year versus the whole of 2022's. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, let me know in the comments. Finally, speaking of tracking income streams, these are of course tracked with my own budget and wealth tracker. It automatically adds everything up and breaks it down by percentage, as you can see on the right-hand portion of the screen. I also have a 20-minute demo of that on my channel, which shows how to set up everything on the sheet from scratch. Link is in the description below. That's the end of the video. Please feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. Until next time, take care and invest safely.